What's up, fellow creators? Today I got a quick video for you. Judging by the title, it's kind of a downer video. And yes, yesterday my Fuji XT4 overheated. To give you a little backstory, I got the Fuji basically right when it came out, and since then I filmed a small 10-person Catholic wedding. They did a full mass and it was almost 2 hours long. I used the XT4 as kind of like my C cam. It was in the back as a safety wide. Just as I'm integrating it in, I just want to use it my C before I eventually make it my A cam, because I'm currently using XT3s. But I had it running the whole entire time, almost 2 hours. It was hot to the touch in the back. It wasn't crazy hot, but it was definitely noticeably hotter than the XT3s. But everything was fine. I got no heat indicator, no nothing. However, yesterday it was 84 degrees outside. I'll put the Celsius up there. But it was 84 degrees out. I took it in direct sun and just hit record. I made it through, for those who don't know, the XT4 films in 30-minute revolutions. It filmed 30 minutes. Everything was fine. Turned it off, turned it back on, and about 5 minutes in, I got a heat indicator, and basically kept on rolling the whole time. It went for another 20 minutes, and then actually gave me this red bar, said it's too hot, essentially, and just shut down. It actually saved the file, so that was definitely a plus, but I was able to turn it back on, but immediately it gave me that little warning. It didn't shut off, but I just turned it off and ended the test there. I brought it upstairs. I should have actually seen how long it took to return back to normal, but someone actually reminded me on another website to check it, and that was about 15 minutes later, and it was totally fine. So I think easily within 5-10 minutes it probably would have been okay, but just the fact that overheating was a little disheartening. And honestly, the main part, I filmed all last year with the XT3s. I had some weddings that were 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and they're totally fine. They had them in the sun, they're no big deal. And I think the main thing is this, the Fuji, essentially, the XT4 is essentially an XT3 that dual records and has IBIS. And having that is just going to add a little bit more to the processor. And with that said, the specs that I had for the XT4, I'll line them up right here, but I tried to give it the best chance for heat as possible. And essentially how I film weddings, I filmed in 100 megabytes a second, and I film that way because I don't want to have a ton of footage. I turned IBIS off and I locked down autofocus, because that's typically how I film. Once the people come down the aisle and they're all staged, I lock focus because I shoot solo a lot, so I'm running around checking all the cameras. So that's essentially how I'm going to shoot, so that's how I tested it. But in that, it actually gave it the best chance for overheating. So it sucks, but I've filmed close to 200 weddings, and all the ones that have been in the 90s, I've actually had some over 100. But typically those weddings last 15 minutes tops, because they don't want their guests sitting out there baking in the sun. So with that, I'd be fine, because it lasted almost an hour. And then worst case, if it is pushing probably 100 degrees Fahrenheit, I'll probably use those umbrellas that I mentioned in another video. And I'll leave a link to that below. So if you're worried about rain or sun, definitely check out that video. Another thing I'll mention, I seen a similar video with the A7 III. It was 2 degrees hotter, and it was in Australia, and they basically did the same test, and it lasted 26 minutes and overheated and shut off. So with that, it does give me a little hope, because I know a lot of people are still rocking the A7 IIIs, and if, like I said before, if it can last an hour, I'm still going to be making this my main cam, because the biggest thing is that dual record. Typically at the end of the wedding, since I shoot solo, a lot of my footage is on a single camera, and with the XT3s it's a one card, so I'm at the mercy of that card. So having this, doing little clips throughout the day, getting ready, even the speeches are typically that long, and that's going to be covered. All that, having it in 2 cards is definitely going to give me a little more peace of mind when I get home and I'm ejecting that card from the camera. So if you like this video, please, if you have any questions, just leave it in the comment section below. If you like this video, give it a like, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.